as the new world slam.
Yo, 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 what's the craze? Nano Banana blowing up the place.
Nano Banana.
It is AI TV. We are live.
That's right.
Thursday night.
The producer. We got
listen
so
to this
much
all day,
banana
right?
going on right here, right? Oh, that's awesome. All right. Welcome, everybody, to AITV. I'm Rick McCauley, your host. Tonight, I'm an Adobe community expert because we're going to talk about, guess what? Adobe is now married Nano Banana. So a couple of cool things that last week we left off talking about hallucinations. We're going to pick up that again. And then last week we talked about Nano Banana, where we're going to do more of that again. And we're going to include Adobe. And I'm so excited because I've been a Adobe community expert for about 2 years now. Went to Max. I'm doing consulting for them, that kind of cool stuff. So let's get in there and take a look at what we got in the news, because stuff has been happening. Man, I just can't tell you. And, you know, already Elon today announced that AGI is the next version and it will be out in less than 2 months. So he's just boasting that he's thrown more compute at this damn thing than anybody on the planet. So he literally has more compute power. So he's caught up with all the big names, OpenAI and Google, in record time, like he's got some rocket ship company or something like that. But
Although I will say with Elon, he tends to over exaggerate his tech capabilities. It'll just
yeah. Well, you know, then he can catch a rocket with some Chinese chopsticks. So yeah, the front page should tell you a little bit about this. As you saw the video coming in, that was done in Midjourney. The picture itself was done, and I promise, Brandon, in fact, stay on here with me, buddy, because I'm going to get you in there with the gorillas, and we're going to be playing some soccer with the gorillas or something. If this Nano Banana
I
thing
just
goes on
assumed you
longer-
made me the gorilla at this point. I was like, considering our other slide, I was like, well, there's
wait, that little peak on his head right there? Oh no, I didn't intentionally, Brandon. I swear.
I mean,
he does
I'm
have
just
glasses.
saying that he is wearing a polo. And he is wearing glasses. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but
well, I think he's cool looking. I'd hang out with him and have a beer.
yeah, well, you know.
All right, so we got Gemini with Nano Banana, and we got now. Check this out. The next one, my good. We got to get through the news first. Let's get the news first. So that's what's in store. So hang out with Rick McCauley, Dangerous Man, and Brandon, the producer. Or tonight, I'm the Adobe community expert. That way I get some credit for what I'm supposed to be doing, which is promoting their products. While you're on my YouTube channel, go ahead and check out Firefly, because I talk about a bunch of this stuff, video and audio and all kinds of stuff that Adobe's doing. Do we have the slide up? Yeah, the next. There we go. Now we can see it. Okay. So here's the first story. So we talked about hallucinations last time and how, it's kind of weird. In fact, this is kind of an inside joke. This took me about 45 minutes to get it right. So the way that I typically work is I go to ChatGPT and I load up the stories and I'm kind of summarizing it. In fact, we wrote a script. I wrote a script so we could talk back and forth. Of course, we're not going to use it because we're just much more funnier in real life than that is. So, but the joke was that large language models could not tell you how many R's were in strawberry, because they tokenized the word into two parts, straw and berry. So you either got one or you got two, and you never got three. Well, last week, they figured out the reason why large language models, when they're trained, they call it reinforcement training, where they basically spank them every time they get the answer wrong. So what they weren't doing is, how you take an SAT test, you're not quite sure if it's 3 or 4, but you go ahead and just fill it in because there's no penalty. Well, that's exactly what happens to large language models. It wants to be helpful. It wants to give you an answer. So if it thinks an answer might be plausible, it just does it. In fact, in one case, these two Chinese authors of this one paper were close to finding this new part which was kind of like next level thinking. But when the professor writing this paper cited that person, it was the first name of one expert and the last name of the other expert. And it put them both together and then merged their two quotes to make up a new quote, which is kind of nuts. So OpenAI's what's his name? The CEO? I always forget.
Sam Altman.
Yeah, Sam Altman comes out and he says this, right? So he's like, you don't want it saying, I don't know. What do you think, Brandon? Would you rather it said, I don't know if it's not certain, or probability, maybe? Like this is maybe 50% chance this is right? I don't know. It's like a chance of rain.
Yeah, I lost my primary camera. I'm not sure what happened, but hello over here. And I almost like this angle better. I got the microphone here. I feel like
It's like
feel
you're
like an
doing
actual
some stuff in
producer.
here. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. We expect them to be knowing all things. Google kind of taught
Yeah.
us that, right? Like we expect you to have the right answer.
Yeah.
And if you're not sure, that's an interesting thing of what to do with that information.
Well, and Sam Altman was on last night, I think it was. I was watching him with who's the guy from Fox News with the squirrely hair, and I forget his name, but anyway, he was asking him if he believed in God and whether or not he was being a god, and he was like giving him a really hard time. It's like, and then they got some sort of interesting points. Is that, well, is it okay if it allows you to commit suicide? If someone's trying to commit suicide, would your model be okay with it? And he said, well, so he stammered for a bit because it's a complicated question. If it's a teenager, that they shouldn't be committing suicide. They're just not there yet. But if it's someone
if it's an adult, they shouldn't be committing suicide. Nobody should be committing suicide.
This was the point. It's legal in many states in the U.S., definitely legal in Canada and many other countries. So the question is, whose morality do you kind of privilege when you train this model? So if someone in Canada is trying to find out information that's like, what drugs do I do? What's the procedure if I want to have assisted suicide, they call it, right? So, but that's different than a teenager who's just having, worries of failing their class and they all of a sudden think this is a great idea. Yeah, been there too close to that one, I got to say. So, I mean, everything's that way. There's nuance in whether or not you think transgender people are okay. And yeah, so it's like live and let live. But when you're a large language model and you've got to give answers to all kinds of very complicated questions, and I'm not even scratching the surface. Think about that, right? That Apple is going with Google, most likely. They've been testing on device for a long time, and they will have a version that's completely on device, where it's getting to such a small point and these chips are getting so fast, they can do that. So imagine doing Nano Banana and you're just on your phone and you're not communicating anywhere. Just like you can download large language models. I mean, there's probably the Flux you can totally put on your machine, cost you nothing. You got to have a really beefy machine, with a good GPU. I'm getting ready to put a NAS server together with 80 terabytes, and I'm going to be serving up my own, large language model.
I do want to talk about that real quick because I know we had teased Notebook LM as being our tool time segment this week, but then Nano Banana dropped into Photoshop and that kind of just blew out the agenda. And so we are looking forward to it next week, Rick. We're going to be talking about
so let's go to the next slide. So here's the problem, right? It hallucinates because there's no penalty for being wrong. Like an SAT test taking guessing has no downside. So they're fixing it by having a penalty for the wrong answer. That's pretty cool. So you can fix that. So here's Claude. They were facing over 1 billion. In fact, it could have reached as much as 10 billion because what was the total amount? I think it was 300,000 per. I mean, it was nuts. Right? Oh, $3,000 that they would have. So they've set the price per book, $3,000. Now, what they did that was wrong is if you just go on the internet and you look at what's publicly available, so there's many companies that have done this. The Lion Group was the largest group that did it for academic purposes. We're going to spend an entire day just about copyright. I'm hoping to get 2 copyright attorneys to come on to really give us real facts. In fact, they're the ones representing me in my attempt to get copyright on all my music and plays and establish a new norm for what is human capital investment. Right now, you can't get copyright. So we've all trained on all things of all history. I look at Picasso, I look at Jules Verne, I look at this, I look at that, and we watch movies and we steal. There's not a new idea.
Everything, yeah.
Everything
We
comes
see this a
from
lot. Everything comes from copyrighted material. Everything you've ever learned came from a copyrighted source.
right. So where it gets illegal is if you go to an illegal place where, let's say, you broke into someone's house, which is what Anthropic did. They had
And
someone
read all
steal
their encyclopedias.
Yes, exactly, right? So they got a hold of the stuff that came from a disreputable organization. Now, if you go back to the deep dive pictures, Lion was a group, educators. In fact, I think the next slide has the details about this. So all of these authors want to get paid, and this is the new thing. Yeah, here we go. So $1.5 billion settlement, $3,000 per book for 465,000 titles. Okay, so this is an $11 billion company. So 1.5, yeah, it's going to hurt. Somebody's not going to go home with a paycheck this week, right? The idiots. But all they had to do was put the book back, and then they'd be just fine. So the judge now is ruling on it, and they came up with this amount of $3,000 per book. They could have charged as much as $250,000 per book. But they said, let's be reasonable. It's like that book wasn't that interesting. I mean, look at these books these guys are holding. I'm not sure which books they were, right? But the trial in December statutory damages could be $150,000 per work. That's hundreds of billions of dollars. That would be wipe them off the planet, right? So we can't have that. So the precedent was Google Books set this in 2015. Different because Google didn't keep pirated data. Anthropic did, allegedly. Now, here's the other part. So scraping's okay. Holding is stealing. Period. End story. So do you remember Napster, right? I've still got a hard drive that literally has 10,000 pieces of music. I mean, it's just like, and I didn't even have the time to organize it. And I had so much fun downloading it because I was getting something for nothing that I probably listened to 5 songs, and now Spotify's. So that's kind of what they're trying to do. Perplexity is already paying, and so is OpenAI. So OpenAI paid a bunch of money to New York Times because they want that data to be trained on, because they're the kind of journalists of the world, right? Associated Press, Reuters, all these people are making deals with these large language models, because if you're behind a paywall like the New York Times is, I mean, how annoying is that nowadays, right? So what do you think, Brandon? I mean, we're always quoting somebody, and we don't even put a footnote that we got this information from somebody. And we seem to have social media kind of come to terms that we're willing to give away our stuff. I mean, I put all my artwork like this right now. It's now going to be on the internet. Somebody wants that picture that took me an hour to figure out how to get that lady in the back and that guy with the bug eyes in the back. I still got to fix him, right? But I spent a couple hours in Photoshop, to get this right and to making this slide. What is the value of our intellectual property? And have we gotten to a point where there is none?
I think our intellectual property still has value, and creative works can still be, derived, and you can still put a stamp on it. For journalism specifically, it's really interesting because I came from a journalism background. I went to mass comm school at Kent State and wanted to be in the media and work in the media. AITV, here we go, 20 years later. And so I think that I don't fault the New York Times for wanting to gate their content and provide that paywall, because they need to earn their dollars. But the problem is there are so many other sources that are giving away very similar content for free, even if it's not the New York Times journalist. You've got something.
We got this other problem. I mean, the Miami Herald, I worked there 15 years, won a Pulitzer as a team effort for Hurricane Andrew coverage. I was born to be a journalist. And then I went to desktop publishing, all of a sudden made a whole bunch more money and decided to go this direction, education, which, no regrets. 2 things the lawsuit did is, first of all, they got slapped. Everybody agrees it's not right to hold the information. You can look at it, you can digest it, But when you digest it, you regurgitate something brand new. So you take
Sell
1,000
t-shirts.
so it's on us as humans to not use it illegitimately. Now,
Unless you're Grok, in which case you could do whatever the hell you want, apparently, because you got Mickey Mouse smoking in front of a McDonald's driving a Tesla Cybertruck, and that's fine.
I did a few of those just to see if I could do it. And I was shocked, man. I was shocked. Google has always been the big long tooth, but until Nano Banana came out, they didn't have what people wanted. They didn't have the sticky. And because we're doing 2 episodes about it,
I disagree. I say they had what people wanted. They sucked at marketing that they had what people wanted. They called it Bard, and then they had AI Studio, and then they had Gemini 2.1.0.3 Flash.
Yep. So going with your thought, Steve Jobs had no skills at all. Wozniak put the computer together. What did Steve do? He put it in a box and made it plug into the wall. That's all he did. And then he spent the rest of the time, and
that's the story of ChatGPT. That's the story of ChatGPT.
Exactly.
The code for ChatGPT was inside of the documentation that OpenAI had on their playground, and then they needed an interface, so they built it on a weekend. They didn't think it was going to take off, and here we are, the world later in the virtual garage. They built it in a weekend.
Okay, here we go.
What's up, everybody? Terry White here, and today I'm not only dropping knowledge, but I'm dropping bananas into Photoshop with a sneak peek of Nano Banana, a partner model coming to Photoshop beta in a couple of weeks. Let me show you how it works. All right, let's start with a scene that I shot in studio. I wish I had him facing forward, but now with Nano Banana, that's pretty easy to do. Just make a selection of the whole scene, type in my prompt to not only remove the glare from his glasses, but have him face forward. And like magic, he's been turned. Something I couldn't have done easily before. So now I'll just go ahead and drag that layer into the scene that I want him in. That will create an extra layer in this scene for me. And now I can begin my compositing workflow. So I'll go ahead and scale them down, get them into place. And then once I scale it down to the appropriate size, the next thing I'll need to do is remove the background. That is one click on the contextual taskbar. That will create a layer mask. And great, the background's been removed. Next up, I want to harmonize this.
So this tool's right there right now. It's just going to fix the shadows and the light.
Harmonize the layers and make the colors and shadows and lighting look right. But I still want to brighten it up just a little bit with that creative control that I have. And so now using the object selection tool, I'll select him as an object with one click and then head over to my layers panel and add an exposure adjustment layer. And just like magic, I can adjust the exposure of just him without affecting the rest of the scene. Now that I got him looking good, the next thing I need to do is put in.
Now watch this. This is nuts.
So I'll make a selection using my selection brush, and thanks to Nano Banana, I can go ahead and edit that text with a prompt. Now, if you've ever tried to do this kind of work inside Photoshop, you know how hard it would be to replace that text. But I'll just type it in, replace the text with his name, Jimmy Slays, and just like magic, we can have Nano Banana replace that text for us. And there it is.
It does slay.
Thanks to our new partner.
So that's this next week, right? Right now, I spent all night last night. This is Firefly, and I'm going to show you what I did here. Take a look at these pictures. Take a look at the one on the top right. So I went all over the internet. In fact, the downloadable for this document is going to be all of this stuff that you see here. So over in Firefly, which is the image generator, the video generator that Adobe has. So if you're an Adobe subscriber, you can go there right now and start going crazy. I did these last night. I'm almost out of credits. I've got 500 more credits to go. But I started with my picture in a lot of these on the left, and we'll see what this looks like. The Nano Banana, I made it with a big giant banana in my arms. I put myself on a pommel horse doing cool stuff in this incredible place. So this is what I found on the internet. So I've collected a bunch of these together. So it's basically what Nano Banana does, says, here's Sam Altman's face, put it with this shirt, ChatGPT, and put him in that pose. Bingo. So I said, I can do that. And I did it better because I'm a graphic designer. I said, get rid of that background because it was a gnarly background. I mean, well, I guess it's not too bad. So this is what I said. Can you take the picture on the left with the turtleneck and place him wearing the, place him. Yeah. So I always do this by verbally doing this. Then I took this one. And so here's this little scene that I found. In fact, if you go into Firefly, I'll show you in just a minute. you can get stock photography in there. And so I mixed these chairs together. So if you look at the chair on the left, I didn't quite get the whole flower on it, but the entire thing is glass. And then I said, make a picture of me and make it broken glass up on behind me and make the staircase with glass topped stairs. Ouch. Wow, that's cool. All right, here you go. Number 2. Here's what we had on the left, and I wanted to change me. So I think I'll go back and I'll change. Brandon, you want to be the gorilla this time? You get to be the guy, and I'll be the gorilla. Actually, I trained the gorilla's face is mine, actually. So now here's one that blew me away. So a long time ago, this was in the Saturday Evening Post, I believe, right? And it's about the science and education of the arts not getting the money and wars getting the money. So I said, hey, make this look real. Damned if it didn't. I mean, if a couple of upscales, I did not upscale, I did not retouch. Even in the bottom left-hand corner, you've got a woman with a plate. There's a kid up in the top. It looks like a kid in the other one. And there's spider webs I didn't even realize was on the first one. I mean, that's just nuts. So here's the classic one that you see. Now, what I did is I put her, the original one that I found online was, like this, all these pictures on the left. And I just cropped it. I gave it to it. And I said, put on Miami Beach with palm trees, sun setting. I didn't even ask for the parrot to wear the headphones, but damned if it didn't. And look at the little Martian hanging off the side of the pink purse. This is nice. Okay. Got to do a selfie with all my bros, right? And brohemes. Yeah, sure. Why not? Now, this is kind of crazy. So it was the anniversary of Mel Fisher found in the Etosha. These are all my photographs I took from the Miami Herald. That is Mel Fisher, who I found the first treasure chest he has his hand on. This picture went for $18,000 to Time magazine. And then it got kicked off the cover of the magazine because of the Soweto riots, unfortunately. But yeah, that's the coin. He stuffed that in my BCD. Yes, that's Jimmy Buffett down at the bottom. And those silver bars are worth about $40,000, and they weigh 70 pounds. And there was literally a football field of those down there that we went over to go scuba diving with Mel Fisher. So I said, hey, then I saw a picture somebody had posted just of a sideways portrait of the Nuestra de Atocha. And then I said, make it a cover of National Geographic with a hurricane coming behind with the Spanish flag. Boom, boom, boom. Now I could go in and fix the photo credit or the illustrator's credit. That's it. I just said, do it. And it did it. Now this one blew me away. I just did this morning. The pictures you see on the top left side of the screen are taken in black and white, push process film, 3200 ISO. It was horrible, like 10-foot visibilities, Nikona's film camera, 15 millimeter, that I took from the Miami Herald. We were doing these stories about submarines. Then I said, basically, can you take this black and white photograph that's grainy and messed up and make it truly photographically real in color? Make the water clear so you could see the scuba diver with his camera and strobe? Whoa. Now, that top one, in fact, here you go. It produced a 419 megabyte file. I don't even know how it did this. Now, not all of them did this, but this is inside of Firefly, which I'm going to show you in just a minute. So I got 2 parts to this. I'm going to show you what happens in Firefly in a minute. And then, but this is insane. I mean, down to the rivets and the stickers on there. I'm still scratching my head. I just can't believe it worked out that way. So if you want to find out about, this is a guy I came across, the Design Hacker. So go look for the Design Hacker. You'll find him out there. He's the guy in the bottom right over there with a banana picture in front of him. He's really doing some really cool stuff. And that's where he went out and he created this PDF with all the pictures that I just showed you and a bunch more. So you can download these from him. So go over and say hi. He also has some great stuff that he can show you there too. So here's one of the ones. These were all on Twitter. So this is Travis Davids that made this picture. So I guess a cool lifestyle picture. Then it put it in Apple Store. And that's the quote, right? And then here we are, another one. These are all done in Gemini directly using Nano Banana inside of Gemini. So probably some of you have tried this. It's like the Ghibli moment for Studio Ghibli moment for Gemini. And luckily, we're not stealing too much of anybody's intellectual property to do it. This one's nuts. So there's the field. And this is Dennis Hassabis, of all people. Yes, sir, Dennis Hassabis, the DeepMind guy that solid protein folding and beat, the Go champion player in the world, right? And make me an isometric. I mean, this is crazy. And then here's all the stuff. Make me a meal. Oh, yeah, you get it. This is unlike any other way that we've ever been able to work in history. And it's consistent characters. So there's so much more we can do. And then I'm gonna demonstrate that real quick. Over in, now I'm using, oops. Oh, am I not in the right place? Oh, I need to go over to a new tab. That's it. Whoa, this is crazy. Trying to figure out where I am. Okay, here we go. All right, so do you see the right screen now, Brendan?
We are seeing exploring new ways to create with firefly.adobe.com.
Okay. So this is Firefly. And guess what? So Adobe Firefly. So it's firefly.adobe.com. So I am in Perplexity's comment browser. You can see that up here. I can also bring up the assistant if I want to find out about it. But let me walk you through, because this is not the old Adobe. It's getting cool. So now Firefly, which generates images, generates video, translates video, text to vector, text to sound. Oh, if you want to have some fun, you go in there and you say like ooh, and you say howl like the moon, and it's a real sound of a howling wolf howling at the moon. And then you can put it with your video that you did over here. Then you can translate it to Chinese or 57 other languages or whatever it is. Then you can go into Photoshop on the web. Yes, I used that today. It's just as good. And it's fast as heck, which is nuts. I don't even know how they do this stuff, right? So a couple of things you got. You've got the home, which is you come in here and you describe an image. So we can just start right here, type in a thing, and we can get a video, and we can get a vector, and we can get an image right there. If we go over to video, we'll take a look at some of the videos, and also text to avatar, which is now there already, enhancing your speech. We should fix my speech because I'm not sounding too good today, right?
And I just got to give Adobe credit, because when Nano Banana first launched, everyone was like, "Photoshop's dead," and Photoshop said, "Uno reverse, we're putting Nano Banana inside of Photoshop."
That's
and
it. And
with all of these tools,
yep,
this is important too. With all of these tools, whether you're using Photoshop or Nano Banana inside of Gemini or just ChatGPT, there's a big push right now in the industry against AI slop, because a lot of these tools are capable, when not properly prompted, of producing lackluster content. It's beautiful lackluster content, but it lacks depth. It lacks
storytelling.
character.
Yeah, there's no storytelling. That's what human beings want to see and hear. I mean, it is kind of cool to take your pug dog and make him a street gangster, but so this is their gallery. This is what's going on. So this looks like Midjourney. In fact, if I went to Midjourney right now, it's not quite there yet, but it's getting there. So just to give you an idea of what I've been doing, this is the stuff I've done. There's that picture I just showed you. So if I click on that, this is actually my page where I generated this. So now I can keep on going and do this again. I can star it. I can add it to my gallery. So that's there. So I'm going to show you how I did all of this, and this is nuts. So I'm going to go to the next thing. I got it set up kind of framed. So what you're looking at here is, let me go do it the right way. So you go to right up here, the boards under beta, and you can create as many of these boards as you want, and you can share them with other people, which is super cool. So I've got one that I've done for Year Without Summer. I've got a brand design project I'm working on with my students. But here's the board that I created, all the stuff that you saw a minute ago. So take a look at this. So now I've invited a couple of people. I'm in here twice, I guess, right? So what this is a giant board, and you get to design it. You go Command plus, and you can zoom into the part that you want to look at. And I put the labels on here because you can do that, right? So here's my first one. So I just placed this up there. So that's that. That's the logo. Here's the picture. There's a picture. And then you can select a bunch of pictures, and you can turn them into an artboard. So here's the stuff I've been doing right now. I'm working on my play here for this picture. And then it has all the stuff that you have on this board. Now you kind of scoot around the page And there is, so I asked it for, can you take a picture of the man on the left with the turtleneck, place him in a hit movie set in front of a black Bugatti motorcycle wearing black shoes. So there were 3 pairs of shoes. I'm like, I want to make sure it got the black ones, right? So I think it got this pair of shoes. Yep. And the watch, right? And the helmet's on the back of the thing. There's the movie set. And the rest of the stuff, just put it over there in a junk pile. Okay. I can do that. And there's that, right? So, I mean, this is nuts. So just to give you the idea, so one of them that I did, some of them didn't turn out that great. There was the first one that had the XAI kind of logo there. This is what I'm working on now. So how you do it, in fact, let me see if I can get it to work here for you, is that you simply click down here and then you point to the picture that you want to use. So I can use it to describe the picture. So it will describe the picture. So if you don't know what it is, kind of thing, or use it as a style reference. Now, then I pick which model. If you want to make something that's just straight up, put words, Firefly does okay. But here's the other ones. In fact, you have to turn them on. I would highly recommend that you use Flux Context Max. So you can give it 12 different things and it'll put together one picture, right? ChatGPT is built in. Okay, so that's conversational editing. When I'm doing all my illustrations, I talk to it to get my prompts that I go to ideogram to execute, because 3 minutes is way too long to spend on any kind of image. And then you've got ideogram is in here and runway. Guess what? You have all these models when you go make video too. So you could take one of these and go over and make video with it. But the one we're talking about is, where is it? Where is did I run out of credits? Oh, that could have been. Son of a gun. I may have run out of credits. Okay, well, I'll try. So our Nano
Can't run out of credits live.
I know, right? Yeah, I think I did. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, so you basically say the style, composition. This is just like Midjourney. You then pick your aspect ratio. And then what I'm going to say is turn this into a color photograph where the submarine is yellow and the divers are swarming around. It looks crystal clear, just like in the Caribbean, with blue-green water. So you tell it what you want, and you are Steven Spielberg, and then it will generate it right here. Now, since I'm using the Firefly model, it's going to generate 4. And
now, Rick, for those of us who are not in the Adobe ecosystem, what is the benchmark requirement to access what we're talking about here?
Firefly is free. I think you get 20 per day that you can kind of go in there and do. Oh, there you go. Okay. So this isn't as good as what. So the difference between Firefly is basically looking at the structure and trying to get something that looks close. I said a yellow thing, so it knows that. So it's reading this, looking at that, trying to mimic it. In the case of Nano Banana, which is 2.5 Flux, I don't know why that's not here. It might be. So you could do Flux. I'm sorry, not 2. Gemini. Oh, there it is. Geez. Okay. Let me do that again. All right. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use this as image reference. So you probably want to use an image reference, and I'm going to use the same command I just did, and then I'm going to generate. So this is what Firefly would do. Now, what you do with this, let me zoom out just a bit. So this is a big giant board you're kind of playing with, right? And you hold down the space bar. Oops, don't click on something. You hold down the space bar, and you can zoom around this, and you can go zoom down so you can see command minus, command plus, and let's see how it's doing. And there it is. Oh my God. I think I asked for too many divers. All right, so what do we do with that? It comes out really small, and I'm not sure about the scale of this right now, but here we go. This is a little extra, right? But look at this. Now, well, the one I just did is 300 megabytes. I asked for more divers. Guess what I got? I got a lot of divers. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. And you could go up here and you could actually click on it and download it here. You can vary the exposure so you can get a different one. You can load up the prompt. You can edit with ChatGPT, Flux, Context, add text. generative fill, generative expand. So if I want to go in there and take out some divers, I could. And then I can also download it. So I download it, or I can export it as a PDF even. Now I would recommend PNG is the file format that has no compression. So there's no artifacts. JPG is compression. There will be artifacts. It's going to degrade the image. PDF just isn't a practical thing. So PNG or JPEG is great. So I would pick PNG. Then I've got a pristine image and 493 megabytes. That's nuts. So that's basically what it does. So it does have the little logo that says embedded in this. Oh, this is really interesting. So Adobe is the creator of the content credentials. Every picture, and Google is the first company to embed it in every single picture it creates, period. What does that mean? The federal government needs to tell Facebook, you got to put a visible watermark on it, says content credentials for every picture generated by AI, so nobody gets accused of trying to create fake news. We could have solved that a long time ago. Adobe's given us a free tool, Adobe Content Credentials. Then you can see that it's recorded on this date that I made this image. So it's embedded and invisible. You can literally put it anywhere. And if you on LinkedIn, you'll see the CR icon. That is Adobe's. Nikon cameras, Sony cameras, all the Canon cameras. They all have cameras now that you can turn it on or turn it off. New York Times, and if you're a journalist, you got to turn it on. And if you're going to win a Pulitzer, you have to have the raw file available for them to take a look at, because people aren't quite sure that you are doing what you're doing, right? So that's pretty cool, right? So what do you think so far?
I think we are living in the future, in the present.
Okay.
I mean,
we are crazy future, right?
Maybe not with so many divers, like all swarmed around that sub.
Yeah, just to show you, and there's a little bit of weirdness with zooming in and out. I still haven't quite got used to it. Now I hope this is going to work. So this is my play, Year Without Summer. I'm working right now to try to fix Frankenstein, because I want Frankenstein to be a bit more attractive as he gets older, right? So I don't want this face. I want, where is he? Sort of, well, no, that's not the one. But I have a face of what I want Frank to look like. So when he gets older, but right here within it, this is a video. Now I could take that and use it to create an image, right? So here's some images that I made before. I haven't tried this yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, I'm going to take Frank, and I'm going to say, make him more attractive, right? Make him look like this. And I actually have a picture that I'm going to use. So I now have the capability to come here and then say, this is his face, make him more attractive, right? I'm not going to do it right now, but you get the idea. So the way that you get pictures in here is you simply go here, add images from your device or cloud storage, and then it comes in here on the right hand, and then you have text that you can add. Oh, and also, and this is super cool, if you want to have this picture, and this picture, did you notice that we have, in fact, let me just do it with a couple here so you'll get the idea. So I can go here and I can arrange them into a group. I can align them. I can download all of them together, or I can collect these items. And then I can make, I believe, I can open them in Photoshop. When I put them right there and I collected them, these now are on a board called Artboard number 2. Now you saw the pictures of all the different clothes and everything. In order to have it say, this is one picture, I want to take this pair of shoes and the watch and everything, right? You just make an artboard. And then you say, take this and put these characters together in one scene. So it's looking at this as a whole. And so when I click an artboard, I can say, I want to use this collective bit of work, this composition, and then I want to do something like create duplicates of this. Wow. Use as a composition reference. Okay. Then I can say here, and I'm going to use not the Firefly, but come on, don't hide again. Flash, Gemini Flash. So I haven't added it to this artboard. This is what it will tell you. You're confirming you're using it. Does use some credits. It's super cheap, by the way. It's less than, I think it's 0.03 cents per generation, which is insanely good. And then I'm going to come back here and let me just grab this little picture here. And then I'm going to come here. I don't know if this is going to work because I haven't tried this one yet. Give me a picture of all of these characters in one setup, in one stage. So Dracula, Frankenstein, and the Widowmaker, a spider, in one scene inside a cathedral with glowing light and candles on stage. I got no idea if that's going to work, but here we go. And then it will generate right there. And then what you do is you take the generation, just drag it up. So I'll drag this up there just so you can kind of see. This is when I had just Firefly. So you can see Firefly didn't quite do, ooh, oh my God, it worked. Look how fast that was. You ready for it? Oh my God, that did it. Okay. I don't even know what to say with this. That's insane. I mean, it's even got, oh, wow. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to download that puppy and just kind of see what it looks like. I just can't believe this thing.
Halloween hits different in the AI range.
Yeah, so what I would do is then go in and work on it. So I'd get the cute face. So I would take this literally, and then I would say, take this face and put that on him. It just heard Frankenstein and Dracula, and it did that. And the Widowmaker is not a woman like it was in my picture. So I don't know that it had that as a reference. I probably should have spent some more time. If you open up an actual reference down here, you're going to get the reference. And I think you can do 4, I think is the max. But if you have a sheet where they're all on one sheet, an artboard, it should work to make that happen. But that ain't bad, and that's usable. Then I can upscale this. And of course, I'd say some other things. So adding references here is super easy to do. Yeah. So here we are. Where we're going to go is, so Gemini, you can go over to Google AI Studio. So aistudio.google.com. And that's where I just was. And these are the presets that are already set in there, including you can design and make an app. This is what one of the apps was. So you upload a picture of yourself. I'm going to do that in just a second. And that's what I got. Right. And then I did it steampunk. That's what I got. Then I did it steampunk again because I love steampunk. Then I said, I'm going to make my own app. I want to have every year of technology from caveman to the printing press, to the steam engine, to the personal computer, to the future of AI twins, robotics. This is what it made. So I took this little gem here called Past Forward, and I said, instead of decades, I want to go throughout all time. So I programmed it with my language. Then I said, put me on the cover of all of these movies. And I told it what movies I wanted to be in. Sure enough, one picture is all it took. And then this is it. So right there, you see the storybook up there. So that's what you're using over there, right? And then you got your coding partner and you got your Explore the Gems. Well, this is Gemini Canvas. And Canvas is where you can take somebody else's idea and then tweak it. So let me run through. Here's some more. So this was this little dangerous app somebody did. And I love the giant piece of chicken. I mean, that's just adorable, right? And then there's the Yeti. And there's the tech throughout time. You get the idea. So, yeah, it's just nuts. So then I did this one. Then I did this one. Oh, so this is somebody else's. And they have this impossible pick. So let's go on over and do it for real because it's no fun looking at what somebody else already did. So there you are. And you can take a look at so Past Forward. This is the one I would highly recommend you guys trying just to get started. So take a look over on the left. It's the code assistant. Here's the code under the hood. It's creating code as you're looking at this. So you click to begin. You load up a picture. Let me see if I've got a picture. I'm going to take this picture of me when I was younger. There I am. Okay. And I'm going to say generate. So now someone made this, and this is from past forward. So it's the decades one you just saw. It's going to take that picture of me and one at a time. And it's pretty darn quick. So take a look at this. There I am in the 50s. 60s is next. 80s. 2000s. Oh, here we go. There we go. All right. I mean, this is perfect. That's actually probably what I wore back in the day. Oh, that's more like it. Oh, that's definitely not me. Yep. And there's the 60s, which is, well, I'm not that old. Okay. So you can start over again, or you could download the album, or you can go here and click on this and it downloads each picture. But what I want to do, can you download it all as a zip file and add that to this picture? Can you also make them higher resolution? And can you allow me to not have a border around it? I just want to download all the pictures at one time. So I just created a program. So what it's going to do, send it to the prompt, and it's going to make the code so that I take somebody else's thing, and it's going to take a minute for it to do. But and then I'm going to get at the other end. So let me go to one that I did already, and there's the code. Here's the preview. And then this is the movie star makeover. So I actually made this. So I want to add a movie genre. Let's see. What's a good movie that you didn't see up there? So I had Jurassic Park, and how about
Back to the Future.
ooh, Back to the Future movie. I want to add to all the other movies that you have here. I mean, this is worse than vibe coding. You got to come up with your own thing. So let me go back and see if that other one's
It's
done.
vibe ricking.
Yeah, right. So it's actually creating HTML an app.tsx. Do you know anything about this, Brandon? I don't know what that means.
A thing or two, but I do want to say while this is doing this, and while this is going through and adding these elements, you can also use these tools to generate some really cool things under the hood. So,
Oh yeah,
Rick, you and I were talking about before that Google had a hackathon over the weekend, and I actually made a built-in app that uses Nano Banana, but I took it in a little bit of a different direction. And if you want, while those things are processing, I've got the video up. That
well, so what I wanted to add is what I did when I got to this is I was disappointed because I got to hit download every time. So I had it create this button, and that
download
creates a
all
zip
photos.
file.
Nice.
So that thing that I just said is exactly what we just asked for in that previous thing. So in a couple of seconds, you literally, I mean, so anything is possible. You literally.
What I did was I decided to go, I said, in a different direction, and I wanted to do something that might be able to help people. And I said, let's really push the limits of what this technology can do. And so with that, we came up with this. And this is about a 2-minute clip. I'm just going to play this through. This is the demo video for the app that is now live, and it's published, and you can play with it.
Wow.
So hang on, let me share my screen here.
Yeah, why don't you take me off, because I'm going to go look for the prompts in there, the links that I can send all this stuff to everybody.
Yep. And so now we got this. Now, by the way, I just want to say that what you're about to see is a commercial for the app that I made in about 14 minutes using 11 Labs as the voice.
Wow.
During moments of crisis, quick and clear guidance can be the difference between a close call and a serious emergency. Introducing Rescue Lens, an app that transforms your smartphone into an intelligent assistant, powered by the cutting-edge Gemini 2.5 Flash multimodal model, Nano Banana. Let's see it in action. In Navigate mode, Rescue Lens scans your surroundings. It uses the Gemini model's unique ability to analyze an image and a text prompt simultaneously, identifying potential dangers.
Caution! The street is flooded, hiding unknown dangers. The sidewalk on the right appears safer, but proceed with extreme caution and watch your step.
But what about when a danger has already occurred? That's where first aid mode comes in. Simply point your camera at an injury. The Gemini model analyzes the visual input and highlights the injury with a precise red circle.
Here are some basic first aid steps. 1. Wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water before touching the wound. 2. Gently clean the wound with mild soap and water to remove any dirt or debris. 3. Apply
It's like
gentle
having an
pressure-
expert by your side, delivering immediate, actionable advice. Finally, an SOS alert instantly triangulates your location, helping rescuers find you quickly. And by leveraging 11 Labs' library of voices, Rescue Lens talks to you in your language of preference. By seamlessly integrating image analysis, visual cues, contextual text generation, and text-to-speech translation, Rescue Lens makes complex, high-stress situations easy to manage. It's more than an app. It's an indispensable tool designed to provide peace of mind when you need it most. Rescue Lens, your smart guide in an emergency.
So to go from like, hey, I have an idea to now I have a fully functional deployed app that's available
That's
to use.
nuts. That's nuts.
And the hardest part was actually trying to get it to generate those images with the injuries, because the safety model's like, hey, I can't generate a broken leg. I'm like, no, it's for a safety app. And
Yeah.
the model's like, all right, I guess we'll do it for you, Brandon.
That's
So, but
crazy.
you know, it just it blows my mind what we're capable of doing with technology now, and we're just getting started. You know, this is
Yeah.
you know, Gemini 3 is coming pretty soon, maybe next month. And I see you shared some links to the Firefly stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I realize I need to take one at a time, probably. Also, I'll try to do that better. Yeah, I mean, so I'm confused about Google because I didn't even know half the stuff is in there. When I started studying it, I didn't know I could do this, and I guess even today they announced another whole set of stuff that I wasn't even familiar with. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and Korea just dropped real time. They're
Yeah.
taking people off the wait list.
Yeah.
So, you know, we used
Yeah,
to
so
joke
you
that the world is a simulation. I'm like, I'm beginning to think that maybe there's some truth to those rumors. But you know, Notebook LM, we're going to talk about.
Yeah, next week. It is a simulation because, and we talked about this last time, we talked about human beings tell stories. We tell the story of what money is. We tell the story of what a job is. In fact, we negotiate what you do at a job. Every job's different. So you're creating a game in which you're willing to be a participant for a certain amount of money. That's a game. That's a simulation. I mean, there couldn't be, your relationship with your wife is a simulation where you agree to raise some kids together. I mean, so all of life, if you want to break it down, is you're making really minute choices, and opportunities hopefully are showing up. So you've got beautiful kids and you've got a beautiful wife and you really love her, and stuff goes on, and you go get your degree, which is agreed upon little sheet of paper that allows you to get that job instead of this job, right? So
I want to know what the
life,
cheat code is. AABB, up, down, left, right.
I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you what it is. So two things my dad told me. This is for real. I'm not even joking here. He said when I went to my first job at McDonald's, he says, your job for the rest of your life, whatever your boss's problems, solve it before he knows he's got one. Boom. That's it. Cheat code number one. Number two, always give. Don't expect anything, especially with human beings. Always give, always be generous, always be humble. Always bow, namaste, to the godlike entity in everyone you meet until you realize that guy's a crook and a Schindler. And then you do what you can to avoid that person, and then create an atmosphere where you're in your home and you're safe with your family, and it's a beautiful thing. And then just try to be a better version of yourself every day, because we all screw up.
Yep. It's Runway ML. They had a Gen 48 Aleph edition. So Runway ML is a video generation tool. Aleph is one of their new models. It's really good.
Yes. It's awesome.
And so they had a 48-hour make a movie in 48 hours, make a short. And one of the videos that came up on my LinkedIn feed of all places was this video that got an honorable mention at their film festival. And we talk about, in this channel, we talk about storytelling, and we talk about the power of sharing your, sharing what's inside of you and amplifying it with AI. It's about a 2.5 minute piece, and I've got it called up here. I'd like to share it just because I think it would be a great way to.
I bet you it's the one I've seen this.
I don't. This
I-
just launched. It
Okay.
so it.
All right. Show me. Let's
we'll
see how
see.
much I'm online.
We'll see if you saw this last night. So
Okay.
let's see. I've got to share my screen,
I was up to
and then
4 o'clock in the morning watching something. I got to say.
and then it's going to bring up. There it is. Okay. So this is from a
yeah,
creator, Ron Baranov, and
Yes.
the title of the movie is Prompted. Did you see this?
Yes. I watched it this
Oh,
morning. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
so
awesome. It really is awesome. Kelly Boach, we got to get on here too.
First time in therapy.
Yeah.
So, what brings you here?
What brings me here? It all began when I was prompted.
White tiger with a pimp outfit.
I used to show up every day waiting, but they never picked me.
A kitten who looks like strawberry. Kitten who looks like strawberry, please.
Sometimes I even wish there was a cat. Cats always get chosen.
It's kitten.
Kitten.
A man with an earth-shaped head. You're up.
Finally, someone called my name.
A noodle who just lost a bet.
I couldn't believe it. It was fast, scary, but I felt like a star.
You did it. Be the best version of yourself. Smile. Be confident. Be the best version of yourself. Running.
I did everything by the
Version of yourself every day.
Get to smile.
And when I got there, I saw my creators looking at me through the screen, and I tried to look open, not needy.
He looks super needy.
Needy.
Totally.
This
Is that
one is
Firefly
much
there?
better.
He has a masculine atmosphere.
Let's take him.
No!
And then in a split second, they chose the guy next to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I had to stand there and watch them upscaling him and animating him.
Oh,
It was devastating.
that sounds very difficult.
Nobody wants me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't matter.
Life, even an artificial one, could be cruel sometimes.
Um,
But what about you? What do you think about yourself?
um,
Have you tried to look inwards?
Wow. This is so beautiful.
Oh, our time is up.
wow.
I can see that you're truly emotional about this.
It really rocked my world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay, so that will be 30,000 credits.
1,000 credits.
And I hope that I will see you here again.
Yes. I think you will.
Oh my God, Brandon. I saw that just today. You got to go watch it a couple of
An
times.
allergic to lactose bear who is watching his favorite show on Netflix.
You know, that just makes me glad to be alive. When I saw that this morning at 10 o'clock, that's when I watched it. I'm always following Kelly Boach. If you haven't followed, we're going to get her on. We got to get her on here, right?
Yeah.
She is just, everyone just, it speaks to my humanity. I feel like, you know how when you see Tom Hanks in a movie, you know, it's just going to be deep, but happy and a bit, you know, melancholy too. All in this, I mean, that's all that, man. And, you know, I think this has got to be the end for every show. I think that go out in the world and do this every morning when you wake up. You're on social media. You got a chance to look at some slops, look at your kitten videos, do all that kind of stuff. When you're done, leave 3 artifacts behind: a great song, a great thought that you advanced as to take it to the next level, and honor the person you got it from. And the third thing is something that feeds your soul like that you then go to show somebody at the water. Did you see the video? So the meme, if done correctly, so a meme is a virus. It's a language virus. Imagine that every meme was like that. I look at that movie is you watched it, I watched it. Why? Because the algorithm is trying to tweak us with what we like. So if you keep reposting again and again, that kind of thing. So let's make this guy freaking extra famous, right? By posting it again and again, and then tell all your friends about it. But, you know, like Kelly Bosch is like, I'll say her name all day long if it gets you to watch 3 of her videos, and then your life has changed. And there's a reason why we like Spielberg, and there's a reason why we like this and that. It's because those are superhuman stars in the sky. They are the opposite of slop. They are what we're living for.
And the difference here, and it's a critical difference, is that Kelly Bosch didn't start out to be a Steven Spielberg. She was in a whole million other line of work. And then she got hooked on these tools, and she says, you know what, I make these while I'm sitting on my couch watching TV, and they're just fun little things, but they're mind-blowing.
I'm hoping she's single. If she is, can you give her a little hint? Yeah, you can't.
That might be time to land the plane.
Tommy made a book turn dreams to steam. Nana Banana, yo, it's a meme machine.
A guy and Brandon, the producer.
ChatGPT with eyeballs, Gemini, whoa. Click, click, boom, watch your mind just go. Waha, everybody laugh. Nana Banana's got the whole world tapped. Make a film in a flash, Spielberg on demand. $1 billion budget sitting in your hand. If you can think it, then you can make it. Nana Banana, no problem.